So, can you explain a little bit about the connection between the micro and the macro experience? Like it feels like the individual or the personal experience is a reflection of the outer, and all of this intensity that's happening on our planet right now.
Okay. Yes, there is a relationship between the micro and macro. And you can go into the micro and macro in the same way, all the way to the infinite. So there is no limit. However, these two are opposites. And what we want you to know is that you go beyond all opposites. You are that crystal clear consciousness in which the micro and the macro are floating. We are also beyond light and darkness. You are amazing. These micro and macro also are related to some kind of powers, which in India they are called cities. So by meditating, you can connect both. And because everything is connected, and because this is your dream, and you are dreaming this micro and macro, then you can also modify it. You can modify everything by modifying your thought process. However, it's not necessary, and you don't need to do this. You can, so to speak, escape both of them by realizing that you are not this body and that you are not this universe, and that everything in a way appeared spontaneously in your expansive self. Consciousness, pure consciousness. Energy is a manifestation of this pure consciousness. And matter is also a manifestation of pure consciousness. You are the manifester. And you can change this dream. Anyone can change the dream.
And just exactly how do we change that dream?
Exactly. First, by realizing that you are not the akrat, the ego. which is always in between. In a way, this personality, this identity, which has acquired certain belief systems, and believes himself, herself to be separate, small, impotent in some cases. So if you change your perspective 100% and begin to connect to that field which is eternal, the akrat, the ego, is going to dissolve completely, and you're going to become free. And in this freedom, energy moves in a very powerful way. And wherever you think, it becomes manifested. And of course, you can't change reality before the crumbling of the ego sense. But then you have a big obstacle, because the ego, the akrat, needs food, and this food is suffering.
The food of the akrat
Is suffering.
is suffering.
Yes.
Yes.
And you may have really short episodes of happiness. But usually when you have these episodes, your mind is in the present moment. So the best way is to get rid of the akrat. And you don't need to do strong practices and go to caves in the Himalayas. That is a way of doing it. But you can do it right here, right now. It's not so difficult because it's who you are. The problem is that you're always looking for who you are outside, and this is impossible. You have to point inwards. You have to go inside. And even if you close your eyes, the mind is trained to go outside, so it's going to create concepts. It's going to try to conceptualize your essence, which, by the way, cannot be conceptualized. So the complete obliteration of this ego sense is necessary for freedom, real, true freedom, to take place. But of course, if we use this word obliterate, erase, destroy, we can also say these ones are not the right words, because you are not going into a war. Because worrying or fighting is also in the realm of the akrat. All you have to do is relax. All you have to do is yield. You never have to fight. So it is that simple. It's like swimming in a turbulent ocean. If you want to get back to the shore, you have to swim with the current. And then it will be so easy to get to the shore. However, if you fight the current, you're going to get tired. And slowly, you're bound to drown. If you're driving a car, it's better to yield than to crash every time with all the cars around. So yield to your emotions, to your thoughts. Do not fight your interior. Do not fight your akrat. Just observe it. And in this observation, you can also pay attention to the act of observing. Or you can pay attention to the observer, which, by the way, does not exist. And here, something is going to become obvious. And this energy of peace and emptiness is going to slowly take over. And everything is going to disappear. The observer and whatever you are observing. Observation is going to take place, but with no one doing the observing. It is that simple. Just pay attention. Pay attention. Analyze, auto-analyze yourself. It's like asking for oxygen when you are surrounded by oxygen. But there is something in Matias' brain, like a tale of a fish that needed to fish and was really, really thirsty. A fish in a lake. And then there was another fish that was considered an enlightened fish. This fish went close to the master, and he told the master, "I am so thirsty, master. What can I do to quench my thirst?" And the master looked around and said, "Look, then you realize that you are surrounded by water? Just open your mouth and breathe." It is that simple. Yes.
Thank you. question is, how do we focus our attention on the present moment and the positive energies instead of fear of the future and wanting to cast blame on the ones who we perceive to be doing all of this to us?
Yeah, here we have us and them.
Yes.
Again, a world of duality. Slowly we have to change our perception. And we cannot blame you for this. It is very difficult. If you are blinded by this apparent reality. But if you go inside, if you really go inside yourself, and sincerely ask who you are, then slowly you will realize that all this is a creation of your own mind. There's no need to fight your own creation. There's no need to fight your own dream. There is no need to fight it. And you don't need to try to love certain appearances in your dream. If this is difficult, you can just focus in something else.
Focus on something else.
Exactly. Like a tree. Anything that awakens in you this sense of gratitude.
So like switching the awareness to something that we feel love or gratitude.
Yes, yes. You can switch. We know that sometimes we tell people, okay, love your enemy. But sometimes this is not easy if we go with a wrong perception and we believe 100% in separation. So we have to maybe take a different road and focus in what is positive in our lives and begin to ignore whatever we label as negative. Because these ones are all labeling stickers, no? This is negative, this is positive. Many people might have a different label for the same exact person. One think the person is horrible and the other one might think that same person is a saint. So this is the mind's labeling. It is better not to label anything as good or bad. And simply concentrate on the river, on the ocean, on the trees, on anything that awakens in you that sense of gratitude, peace, love, etc. And when they become strong enough, then you can begin to work on these other people. And you can begin to forgive first. Forgiving is a clue to relaxing. usually people believe that if you forgive, you are helping someone else. And that also happens, no? However, you are helping yourself. If you don't forgive, it's like carrying a spiky seed inside you, inside yourself. So if you begin to forgive, these spikes, they disappear. So the right course of action is forgiving if you feel some kind of aversion to somebody else. But then there is another secret that is even more powerful, that is accepting. If you accept the present moment 100% all the time, then there won't be any contractions in there. Therefore, you won't need to forgive anyone. So do not resist the present moment, since you cannot change what is happening right here, right now. You might be able to change the future because it's existent. And many people are believing in doing that right now.
Like with positive intentions,
Exactly.
visualizations.
Positive intentions and visualizations. All of them work. However, you don't need to do this. You can just be all day long in the present moment, and this will change your perspective and your energy field, and then all you're going to attract will be fantastic. Fantastic. So it's even easier. You don't need to work so hard. Is that okay? It's a pleasure. Question?
We have another question. It is, can you explain to us how parallel universes work and the concept of time and space? And are we in multiple places at the same time?
Well, you're living in a dream. So in a dream, everything, absolutely everything is possible. And yes, there are different dimensions, temporal dimensions. There are parallel universes. And they are all interrelated and interconnected. It is possible also to jump from one dimension to the other. We count 9 dimensions plus time. Of course, with mathematics, you can have many more dimensions. If you use mathematics to find or to explain different dimensions. But you will find life or separate individual cocoons with a sort of mind 9 different dimensions. And the beings from higher dimensions can access lower dimensions in a very simple and easy way. Because in all these dimensions, what you find are mental rules. You are connected to a collective mental or collective mind, or you can call it collective unconsciousness, which you can't access, but right there is where all these rules are written. Like we can all see the same floor, we can all see the walls and the roof or the ceiling, and the ruling of the mind is that we cannot go through it with our hand, for example, because we are following these mental rules. But if you want to investigate this deeply, if you take a very powerful microscope, then you begin to see holes in between these or inside this matter. And if you go deeper, you can see atoms and subatomic particles, and if you go inside them, you will see that they are empty. So they are just pieces of mental information. Whatever you see around you does not exist. You are actually living in emptiness. And you are actually being broadcasted to these physical bodies. So everybody is in a way being channeled to these physical bodies. So the people that think that channeling is so weird or strange, maybe it is not, since you, in this present moment, are broadcasted to your physical body. Even the Buddhists used to say that everything is emptiness. So, every dimension have different laws and regulations. So for the beings in the higher dimensions, it's very easy to go down and visit these lower dimensions. And there's a memory in Matias's brain that can explain this a little bit, but not too much. Because we cannot use the mental human mind really to understand higher dimensions, because the human brain is not wired to understand other dimensions. However, we can just elucidate this with something an astrophysicist told Matias. So let's say in a two-dimensional field of perception, there will be a paper, we can write a square place a point inside. Okay, this point will be limited by these borderlines. So this point won't be able to cross the line. It is impossible. However, if somebody like you, from a three-dimensional field of perception, comes, then you can see the whole scenario from a different and more broad perspective. And you can reach in and get this point and take it out. So the same, something very similar can happen if you now are enclosed in a cube. So now in this cube you will have 4 walls, a floor, and some kind of ceiling. So for you it's impossible to exit this place without breaking these walls. But if there is somebody from the 5th dimensional field of perception comes, this being can go inside, cross the walls, and take you out. Yes?
Can I ask you a question? So how does it feel to switch now or to transition from 3D to 5D? What is that field of perception that changes in 5?
So the change will happen first in your energetic body, okay? Because all dimensions are parallel. So you will be able to access the 5th dimensional field of perception by, in a way, stopping